their 401k or IRA and end up sending it in when they pay the taxes. Steve Hall of the All Financial Group believes there's a better plan for your retirement than Uncle Sam's plan. In fact, he invites you to attend an exclusive educational event focusing on taxes in retirement. What if the savings you realized would allow you to retire early? Wouldn't you want to know about all that now? Join Steve and the team for this upcoming event on April 25th or April 27th. This event is complimentary, but you must qualify to attend. Call 636-230-8824 or go to yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, LLC, BWA, a registered investment advisor. BWA and All Financial Group, LLC are independent of each other. Insurance and annuity products are offered through Stephen All, Missouri license 8039738.
Live and local, this is St. Louis's News Radio, KMOX.
AB Mark Scores, Chris Ranji on KMOX today. Good to have you with us. Was looking at Instagram last night, and Ballpark Village, which is a right across the street from the stadium, from Busch Stadium, as everybody knows, they promote a lot of events they have coming up, whether it's a concert or whatever else. So on Instagram last night, a post by them, a couple of photos, and it says Spring Drag Brunch is this Saturday, the 22nd. Don't miss out on performances by the top queens in St. Louis, bottomless mimosas, special brunch buffet, and more. Hurry up and get your tickets, whatever. So I thought, when I see a post like that, whether it's this or a team promoting a Pride night, I don't want to, but I'm always curious. And so I click to see the replies. Now, there are lots of likes on this, about 300 or so likes. And there are a lot of comments.
How many comments?
It's hard to count. It doesn't tell you what the amount is. It's not as many as there are likes, but they're all, not all, 95% of them are a combination of, why are you shoving this in our face? Time to boycott Ballpark Village. This is disgusting. Stuff like that. Why are people so upset about a drag brunch? It's a bar. It's a bar. You don't have to go to it.
Yeah.
Don't go to it. Just say nothing. And say, like, okay, I don't really like that. I'm not going to go. I don't like country music really at all. There are a couple of things I guess I like. A couple of guys I like, Chris Stapleton. They are constantly holding country concerts. Okay, why am I going to post on their page, on their account, why are you putting this country music crap in my face? I don't want to see this. I don't want to hear this. Why? Because it's stupid to do that. Why would I do that? If I don't like it, I don't have to go. And that's the same way everybody else should be. You don't have to make a big production about the fact you don't like it.
Right now, there are, on the Ballpark Village Instagram page, there are 316 likes for the Spring Drag Brunch post. And I'm seeing 35 comments. And as you said, most of the comments are negative. With this one, we're going to take the kids, the school conversation out of it. We're just going to look at this event here. It is at a bar, and it's for adults, and it is a drag brunch. And if you don't like that, it is your right not to like it and not to go. And if you do like it, it's at a bar and it's for adults, and you can go. And there are drag bars. There have been drag brunches before. I wonder if the comments are not indicative of how most people in St. Louis feel regarding this specific drag brunch.
I hope you're right.
Because obnoxious people are always the loudest.
Yeah. But I hope you are right about that. I hope this is just a small group of vocal idiots who feels like they have to get this off their chest and hates it for whatever. Like, drag shows are totally harmless. They're harmless. I've seen them. They're fine. It's just dudes dressed up in clothing. It's not a big deal. It just isn't.
But isn't the cliche,
especially at a bar?
Yeah, isn't the cliche never read the comments? So I would think,
it depends.
Yeah, I would think that with this particular instance, I'm wondering if it's just the angry people coming out. Again, I'm taking kids, school questions. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about a drag brunch at a
For
bar.
adults.
Yeah. It's not my thing, but if it's your thing, go to the bar.
I don't think this is as simple as just don't read the comments. That's usually reserved for newspaper articles online when they have the comment section. Those are usually garbage.
Yeah.
But something like a Ballpark Village account, you don't typically get that kind of response on a post. Usually it's either no response or it's, hey, looking forward to it, or whatever it is.
In 2012, if Ballpark Village, if we take this whole situation, put Ballpark Village in 2012, put the drag brunch in 2012, do you have the same reaction? Or is it that the quote unquote culture wars have gotten to such a fever pitch that everything isn't offensive?
That's an interesting question, because I thought about a similar idea, because it feels like 10 years ago, there were drag brunches all over the place. I don't know about in St. Louis, where I live, certainly.
Hamburger Mary's.
Hamburger Mary's. Nobody complained about Hamburger Mary's.
Yeah.
And now, so I think you're probably right, even though it's 10 years later and you're supposed to be making progress as the years go on. Currently, we are in a culture war era that is just, I wish it would go away. I'm so done and bored with it. That's Amy Marks Coors. I'm Chris Ranji. We've got John Rooney coming up next on KMOX.
When a Cardinals player does this.
A walk-off grand slam home run for Paul Goldschmidt.
Chris Ranji thinks this.
There is nothing like a grand slam. When you're a kid and you're daydreaming about being a baseball player, that's what you visualize. You say, I'm going to hit a grand slam, walk off to win this game. That's it. That's the pinnacle of sports.
Hitting one out of the park every morning. The show with Chris Ranji and Amy Marks Coors on KMOX. If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Spark St. Louis is the newest collaborative co-working office space located in the PwC Pennant Building at Ballpark Village. Spark supports local entrepreneurs and corporate professionals and features over 80 private offices, day pass options, monthly networking events, conference room, and special event amenities, while offering an innovative approach to city life where you can live, work, and watch the Cardinals play all within the neighborhood at Ballpark Village. Schedule your tour today by visiting Spark St. Louis online at spark-stl.com.
Some people don't do well under pressure. At Northern Tool and Equipment, we do it best. Whether you're spraying down the shop or getting the winter grime off your house, a Northern Tool pressure washer says you're serious about spring cleaning. From an all-electric power horse to a Honda-powered North Star, we'll help you build your perfect cold or hot water package with all the chemicals, attachments, and everything you need for the job ahead. Northern Tool and Equipment. We're made for this. Come see us in store or shop online at northerntool.com.
Charlie Brennan here. Last year, Beth and I discovered water in the ceiling near the chimney in the front of our house. We immediately called Morelli Tuck Pointing, St. Louis's premier tuck pointer since 1991. The Morelli team then tuck pointed the front and the rear chimneys above the roof and spot tuck pointed below the roof. Morelli used a waterproof mortar that perfectly matched the existing mortar. Then the guys re-cemented the cap, sealed the flashing, and waterproofed the chimney. They then cleaned up so you could never tell any work was done. The Brennans no longer see any water in our front room, and I think if you live in a brick or stone home in need of repair, call the company that's received the Angie's List Super Service Award every year, back to back to back since 2005. Morelli, winner of the BBB Torch Award. Check out their reviews on the Google, Angie's List, and Better Business Bureau websites. MorelliTuckPointing.com, 314-645-1387.
At 10:30, we have sunny skies and 73 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Carol Daniel. A detention hearing has been delayed for the accused Pentagon leaker. We get more from CBS's Linda Kenyon.
Air National Guardsman Jack Teixeira's detention hearing was supposed to be today, but the judge has granted a request to reschedule that hearing for 2 weeks. The hearing will determine whether the 21-year-old Air National Guardsman will remain in jail pending his trial for leaking government secrets. Last week, Texera was arrested and charged with removing classified documents from Otis Air National Guard Base on Cape Cod, Massachusetts, and sharing those documents on the internet. The leaks went undetected for months. Linda Kenyon, CBS News.
The trial of Kim Gardner is set to take place in September. A lot can happen between now and then, according to KMOX legal analyst Brad Young. He says the judge has the option to remove her from office.
In essence, a failure of the judge to rule on the motion to remove Kim Gardner from office will, in essence, be a denial of that motion.
The judge says he will rule on the motion to dismiss the case next week. Meet this year's Teacher of the Year. CBS's Deborah Rodriguez makes the introduction.
Rebecca Peterson is a math teacher at Union High in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
I just can't think of any other profession where people don't just think about us, but like literally hold us in their hearts for like years, even decades down the road.
Rebecca was chosen for making math exciting, relevant, and accessible. Former students surprised her on CBS Mornings.
Miss Peterson recognized a love for teaching that I had, but that I didn't recognize. And she sent an email to my mom unprompted, which was so sweet that my mom was like crying over it. And she kind of guided me and encouraged me to start teaching myself and showed me the ways that she teaches and gave me advice on how to have compassion for my students. And that has changed my life.
Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Rebecca Peterson will be honored at the White House next week. Taking a look at the news. There is a crash to report. It's a one-vehicle crash 70 eastbound before 141. The right lane is closed. Again, that is a one-vehicle crash 70 eastbound before 141. The right lane is closed. The KMOX forecast, sponsored by the Sandberg Phoenix law firm. Windy and warmer today, partly sunny skies. The high 84. Cloudy, breezy, and warm tonight. The low 66. A chance for strong to severe storms tomorrow. Right now, though, it is sunny and 73 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Carol Daniel, KMOX News.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
If you have not visited St. Charles Hyundai, I don't know what you're waiting for. They are conveniently located a quarter mile east of Mid-Rivers Mall Drive, just off Highway 70, or you can visit them online, stcharleshyundai.com. And really, hop in the car, head on over to their beautiful St. Charles Automotive campus. Right now, they're offering 0% APR financing on select Hyundai models through May 1st. So you don't want to wait. You want to get out there. And like I said, it is one-stop shopping at St. Charles Automotive. You have St. Charles Hyundai, you have St. Charles Nissan, and Genesis of St. Charles. And St. Charles Hyundai has just completed their new showroom. It is spectacular. And they have a great inventory of Hyundais right now. You know, over the past couple of years, a lot of dealerships have been low on inventory. A lot of dealerships have marked up their prices and really kind of gouged customers a little bit. Not at St. Charles Hyundai. They have kept their prices low. What you see is what you get. You don't have to worry about haggling, and they have beautiful cars in their new showroom in stock right now. So again, St. Charles Hyundai, just a quarter mile east of Mid-Rivers Mall Drive, just off Highway 70, or you can visit them, shop online, stcharleshyundai.com.
Tamara Green, aka Strawberry, was a beautiful young exotic dancer and mother of three who was gunned down months after she was connected to a wild party at the Detroit mayor's mansion. The party's rumor, her murderous fact. Who Killed Strawberry is Odyssey's riveting new true crime podcast. 20 years later, Who Killed Strawberry is still a mystery, although there are lots of theories about why she was killed. Was it connected to the party, to a grudge, or to something else? Listen on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Broadcasting from the Underlying Tree Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
Hi, I'm Paul Goldschmidt. Hi, I'm Miles Michaelis. I'm Adam Wainwright, and you're listening to the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
It's the Cards and Diamondbacks this afternoon. Ameren Total Access 1120. First pitch 12:15.
KMOX is Cardinals Radio.
Now the John Rooney Conversation on KMOX. Sponsored by Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. And if you're a Missourian, we're for you.
Contreras has flied out, bounced out, and struck out in this game. And the first pitch to him is hit high in the air, deep to left field. Backing up is Gurriel. He looks up, And that's long gone. A big fly for Contreras. His first as a Cardinal over the bullpen in left field. And the Cardinals get that run back here in the bottom of the 7th inning. 8-4 is the score.
It is the show, Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji with you on this Wednesday. Hope you are doing well. We are joined now by John Rooney, radio voice of the Cardinals, our regular weekly visit with him. He joins us on KMOX. What's up, John?
It is a beautiful day at the ballpark, a beautiful day to come on downtown, take in the 12:15 game as the Cardinals trying to get a win and get out of town. And they'll be enjoying the off day tomorrow in the great Northwest and then play Seattle and go to San Francisco and to Los Angeles. So a long road trip, and the team won't be back in town until the 2nd of May.
Yeah, these road trips, when they come about, I think a lot of guys kind of like the idea of being at home, being comfortable, not having to worry about packing and repacking and all of that stuff. But can there be something good about a team getting away and going on the road?
Well, there can be if you have some positive things to take with you. And we saw some positives in the game last night. Contreras is really starting to hit, as you heard Ricky's call of his first home run as a Cardinal. And then he hit for power down the right field line for his second home run. And I noticed the last couple of days, he's really driving the ball to right and right center field. And when he's doing that, he's definitely on his game, and he could help carry the offense for a while. And we had Arenado and Goldschmidt taking planned days off on this series, and they're back in the lineup together today. And a sore leg has kept Donovan out of the lineup, and is probably from sliding, as he had an abrasion that has been giving him a little bit of a problem. But I think we're going to see the team build off of what we experienced late in the game last night and carry over to today. And Madison Bumgarner is not the Madison Bumgarner who closed out Kansas City in the World Series years ago. He doesn't have the velocity he used to have, and if he misses his spots, then he can have some problems. So let's hope the Cardinals take advantage of it when he does miss.
John, as fans, we can ride the highs and lows of the team pretty hard, and we can freak out or cheer, however it may be, game to game. But you are there in the booth night in, night out. What is a date for you after the start of the season when you really start to worry or get excited about the trends you're seeing from the team as a whole?
Well, I know for Mike Claiborne, it's Flag Day, but I kind of go along with what Ernie Harwell told me years ago, the Hall of Fame broadcaster for the Tigers. He said there are checkpoints during the season, and the first one comes at Memorial Day, then 4th of July, and then you'll see if you're in it on Labor Day and what you'll do down the stretch. And I found that to be true. But I really believe there are 4 or 5 seasons within one where you have the ups and downs, and we might see that more this year because of playing everybody. We don't just play a division in interleague play anymore, like the Cardinals going out west to play Seattle and then back into the National League with San Francisco and L.A. And when we get back home, we have the Angels and the Detroit Tigers coming in. Ohtani and Trout and company will be here when we get to May the 2nd. And that's why I think you'll see the standings bounce around, and I think those checkpoints will probably hold up for most everybody.
Yeah, the Cardinals sit right now at 7-11. They're currently, it's way too early to really look at standings, but it gives you an idea of them being 5th in the Central right now, that they're really not that far off from the top. Like, so if you look at the standings and say, oh, they're in last place, you don't want to be in last place, but there's so much season left, and really the distance between them and the top of the division is not that great.
No, it's not, and that's why it is early. You don't want to get too far behind, and you probably go through stretches like this a couple of times where you might go 7-9, 7-10, and Cardinals come in at 7-11 into this game today, but they're not as noticeable as you doing it right out of the gate. And when you don't hit, when you don't put the hitting together with the pitching, and if you do get them together and your bullpen falters, then it doesn't look very good. And the Cardinals have hit, but they haven't hit that well with runners in scoring position. And we have Luis Gonzalez, who will join us on Inside the Park on our broadcast today. He works in the front office with Arizona, as well as doing about 50 games on TV. And he looked at this Cardinal club saying it's just a matter of time before they start clicking. And Oliver Marmol has been contending that. His coaches have said the same thing. And I believe them. And I know I'm from Missouri, and you have to show me. But I saw some things last night that were very encouraging. And let's hope they carry over to today and the Cardinals get off to a good start and get out of town with a win.
John, has anything surprised you so far in this young season?
I think the way Tampa Bay has been able to shoot out to such a big lead, winning 13 in a row before losing finally. But I think one of the big surprises is the team the Cardinals are playing right now, considering they've covered about 3,000 miles on this trip, going to Florida and going from Arizona to Florida and then up here. And then I think they head back home after this. But they have played a very well-rounded game, and they've taken one inning in both games and opened up the game and put them in position to win. And the Cardinals fell short by a run last night. But that's a surprise right there. And Milwaukee is playing well, but I think the Cardinals will play well and challenge. The Cubs are a little bit better team than they were last year. And, of course, they're above the Cardinals. And we will see the Cincinnati Reds a couple of times here and at their place. But I'm waiting to see how things shake out because I really believe the Cardinals are about to end spring training. They didn't get to play together more than a handful of games because of the World Baseball Classic. And John Mozeliak said yesterday that if he had a suggestion of when to play the World Baseball Classic, play it where you have at least 2 weeks with your team before you open the season. The Cardinals and maybe a couple of other teams had a lot of players take place and be involved in the World Baseball Classic that took them away from being in your lineup that at least you like to see for 3 or 4 at-bats when you go down the stretch the last 10 games or so.
John, should be a nice day at the ballpark today. Enjoy it. I think we're going to be over there.
The game.
Are you really? Well,
yeah.
Come up and say hello and just park your scooters outside. That'll be fine.
Well,
I hope they're there when we leave.
you know what? You ruined the surprise because I bought you a scooter and it's not assembled. You have to do that. I was going to bring the box up, though.
No, I'll just give it to Jim. Jim Jackson knows how to do that stuff,
Perfect.
and He's great at it.
Hey, speaking of, did you hear the story about the guy? I think you.
And Jim said, thanks a lot.
Yeah, you're welcome, Jim. Look,
Chris has one for you, too.
Yeah, for Jim's service all these years, we got him a scooter. The guy who went to the Walmart and he stole the box of the scooter, and his plan was to take it out to the parking lot and then drive away. But then he opened up the box and didn't realize you had to put it together. So he's outside and the police find him while he's trying to put together the scooter to drive away. So the moral of the story, John, is don't steal scooters from anywhere, and especially Walmart.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought it was don't steal things that require assembly.
Hey, I got a better idea. Just don't steal things.
Oh, that's
there
right.
you go. That's even better.
That's why they pay you the big bucks, man. You got the best ideas.
What about hearts, John? What about hearts?
I came up with that one. Hey, that's not. That's for another show.
Okay.
Now you open up a can of worms, and we could be here till way past the pregame with Tom Ackerman, but.
All right.
Yeah, that's for another time. Maybe next week. Maybe not.
All right. Perfect. John.
What a tease, baby.
Oh, wow. I'm going to write that down so I don't forget.
Come up and say hello today when you get out.
We will.
If we're
Thank
allowed.
you.
Thanks, John.
You don't have to be loud. You can come in. That's all right.
John Rooney, voice of the Cardinals. Thank you.
I can't wait to hear about this Stealing Hearts podcast with John Rooney and Tom Ackerman.
Oh, that's going to be really good.
Stealing Hearts. It's like stealing a base, right?
Stealing
Hearts? Oh.
No, I don't think so.
What would
Pre-game
you-
show today, 11:20, right? 11:20. That's the pregame show. I do that every time.
It's so bad.
It is so bad.
It's
and I'm
so
sorry.
bad that I like to watch you flounder.
Amy Marks Coors, Chris Ranji. Did you see this next on KMOX?
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're here for all of life's wins. Like when you get a new car, or new boat, or new driver, or when your son moves out, but your mom moves in, or you find out you're expecting again, or when one rental property turns into 2, then 20, or you realize they're all in Tornado Alley. Life is full of life events, so call your Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance agent or visit mofbinsurance.com to find an agent near you, and we'll make sure you have the right coverage for each of life's wins.
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're for the people of Missouri, in good times and in bad. We're for Missouri families and Missouri communities. We're for giving back to those communities and lifting people up. And when Missouri weather rips through our state, we're for helping put back the pieces. We're for brighter days and new tomorrows. We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. And if you live in Missouri, we're for you.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
What if you could do business without busy work? With Ramp, you can. Ramp is the future of finance with smart automation, corporate cards, and spend management. Just imagine, no more expense reports or shuffling wrinkled receipts. No more slogging through invoices or getting surprised by unexpected charges. Just your business's big idea with smart spend controls, automation that crushes busy work, and real-time insights so you can make it happen. In other words, Ramp completely reimagined finance to make it work for your business. Get set up, issue corporate cards, and start making payments in less than 15 minutes. See how Ramp does finance. Join today and get $250 just for signing up. Just go to ramp.com/finance. That's ramp.com/finance to get $250 for signing up. That's ramp.com/finance.
Conductor Laureate Leonard Slatkin returns to lead your St. Louis Symphony Orchestra through a musical experience steeped in Spain and the Spanish language, featuring Chabrier's España, as well as Strauss's Don Quixote. Enjoy as special guest Joshua Roman's cello playing the famous knight, and SLSO Principal Viola Beth Guterman Chu playing his trusted sidekick. This Saturday and Sunday, April 22nd and 23rd at Powell Hall. Tickets at slso.org.
Did you know the IRS is a super creditor? Hi, I'm Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. The IRS is the only creditor that can create a bill for you without your permission, then drop the hammer and aggressively collect it by wiping out your bank account, seizing your assets, and levying your wages. No other creditor can do that, and this can all happen without a court approval. If you owe back taxes, you need to be prepared to face the super creditor. Don't just sit back and take it. Fight back. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, we know how to use the laws to your advantage and go toe-to-toe with the IRS. Our office is located right here in St. Louis. Contact the Lance Drury Law Firm today for a free consultation with me, or visit us at lance.drurylaw.com or call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120 to get started.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Worldwide Technology, recognized as a great place to work for 12 years in a row, is hosting a supply chain career event on April 29th at their North American Integration Center in Edwardsville, Illinois, to connect with skilled professionals in the technology production and supply chain industries to fill dozens of roles. Positions include warehouse specialists and managers, production supervisors, configuration techs, and more. These jobs come with competitive pay, industry-leading benefits that even include your pets, and an award-winning culture with career development that gives you options to grow. Learn more and apply online at wwt.com/careers.
Hi, Kent Newbold for Newbold BMW. Your BMW is worth more than ever before, so don't trust your maintenance to a bunch of amateurs. Come see the factory-trained technicians at Newbold BMW in O'Fallon, Illinois, or at newboldbmw.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
If you're experiencing a spring hiring rush, then you need Indeed. Their powerful all-in-one hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Want to find your next great hire? Visit Indeed.com/credit.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
Over 90,000 satisfied customers since 1929. Frederick Roofing, 314-645-2000.
Track your blood donations right from the palm of your hand and stay updated on special promotions. Download the American Red Cross Blood Donor app today. To learn more, go to redcross.org.
Amy Markscourt.
Fabulous.
Chris Ranji.
Unbelievable.
On the show.
Did you see that thing? I can't believe it. Something is obviously wrong.
This is a joke, right?
Oh my God. Are you freaking kidding me? No way.
You gotta be kidding me. Don't feel bad. There's no way you could have known that.
Now, did you see this with Chris and Amy on the show?
Hey, Ron, did you see this? The Buffalo Bills tweeted out that DeMar Hamlin is back, quote, working out with the team. So this is 3.5 months after he suffered cardiac arrest following a collision during a game against the Cincinnati Bengals. And so Bills general manager Brandon Beane said Hamlin's specialists are all in agreement that he can resume full activities. That's incredible. 3.5 months is not that long.
Well, is it him or is it his body double?
Oh, jeez.
You know about that, right?
I forgot about the
All
Damar
the
Hamlin conspiracies.
anti-vax weirdos who said that he's not really there. It's actually just a body double because he died from the vaccine.
But if it's the body double,
Come on,
wouldn't he
man.
also have to be a really good football player?
Yeah.
Like, you can't just be a body double.
And so you might have some random person say, well, they could just throw anybody out there because they're a crappy football players.
Yeah.
Look, if the crappiest NFL player is 150 times better than you at football.
Yeah. Well,
So you can't be that bad if you're on an NFL field.
and he talked about his return and just said, basically, millions of people saw him die on the field with his heart stopping. So the fact that he could come back 3.5 months later, also the GoFundMe that he had started a couple of years before the cardiac event on the field, he had started it for a local, I think, toy drive. A local toy drive.
It blew past its total, right?
$9.1 million
Awesome.
so far.
Yeah. It's a great story, and I'm glad he's back out there and healthy. But that is some scary, scary stuff.
Yeah.
Really, really scary. When you see it happen to an athlete on a field, and I know he took a hit, so it's a little bit different than just being on the field like that soccer player from a couple of years ago. His name escapes me. European soccer player, I think,
know what you're
right?
talking about.
And he just collapsed on the field. He took a few steps and he collapsed. Or what happened here in town with Bomeister. That stuff is extremely scary. And when you, as an average person, see a person in peak physical condition, soccer players, football players, NHL players are in great shape. And when you see that happen to them, I mean, it really starts to make you think about your own mortality.
Yeah.
I think it does, at least for me,
Just
just
to make-
because that should never happen to a person who's that age and in that great a shape.
Yeah. Your own mortality, or just, the fragility of life and how grateful we should be each day.
Remember how I told you last week that I would leave you in this job in a minute
Yeah.
if the city of New York would have hired me, the director of rodent, I can't remember what the title was, director of rodent control or something. Whatever.
The rat
It's the
czar.
rat czar.
Yeah.
Anyway, PETA is not happy. People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, not your friend PETA. PETA says that rats are sensitive and intelligent creatures, and that it is human beings' behavior, disgusting behavior, quote, disgusting behavior, that has led to New York having a massive rat problem. So really, it's people's fault.
Can it be, okay, can half of that be true, where I think people are gross and have gross habits and throw their trash, right, all over the place and uneaten food? Yes, that makes things worse. But instead of rats being beautiful, can they also be gross? Both things are true. We're all gross.
Right.
Rats are gross, and people throwing out their trash is gross.
Totally. And for this job that she's doing, did we talk about her salary?
We did not.
Want to take a guess how much it is? to
Rat
be
czar.
The rat czar of New York City.
Well, I would think with the name czar
Yeah.
that you would make a pretty penny.
Yes.
And I would think with all the rats in New York, it'd be pretty busy.
Mhm.
You'd be okay. So you're working hard.
Yep.
And you have a rather highfalutin title. $200,000.
No, not quite. You overshot. It's
I
$155,000,
was going to say 150.
which is a good salary, but is it that good in New York City? New York City is-
$150,000 will get you a studio with no bathroom, probably.
It'll get you a studio where the only place to walk is the bathroom or the area where the door opens. And the rest of the room is just bed.
You guys remember Will from Bloomington and my Uncle Keith. And one time my sister and I went skiing with my Uncle Keith and my cousin Will. And we stayed at a place that was billed as the most economical way to stay in Vail. In order to open the oven, you had to stand in the bathroom. Because the kitchen and the hallway, the kitchen was the hallway, And so to open the oven, you had to go in the bathroom next to the toilet, reach over and open the oven, because once you opened the oven, it filled up the entire kitchen. Also, we didn't have twin beds. We had cots in the bedroom. And then my uncle and my cousin slept on the pull-out sofa, which, by the way, to pull out the sofa, you had to push the little kitchen table against the wall and stack all the chairs on the kitchen table in order to make room for the pull-out sofa.
Can you imagine? And it was what, $3,000?
I don't know
a
how
month?
much it was. All I know is when my uncle picked us up from the airport, he goes, well, we're going to get to know each other real well.
Just amazing.
On this trip.
By the way, the Rat Czar, the official city job listing, said that candidates had to be, quote, somewhat bloodthirsty.
I like it.
Oh, PETA's not happy. Great stuff.
That's
Amy
good.
Marks Kors and Chris Ranji here on KMOX.
Fairwinds River's Edge is an award-winning independent living community located in the heart of St. Charles. Voted Best Independent Living by U.S. News and World Report, Fairwinds River's Edge provides the life-enhancing independent living services you need to support your best self. We believe that joy isn't just for the young, it's for the young at heart. With services and amenities handling life's necessities, you can dance and enjoy live entertainment at happy hour, play a competitive game of beanbag baseball with your neighbors, participate in an aquatic fitness class at a warm water pool, or go out to Crown Candy for lunch. Say goodbye to home maintenance, cooking, and cleaning, and hello to the fun. In our active community for adults 55 plus, you'll cultivate connections and make meaningful memories in a community that feels like home. Join the fun at Fairwinds River's Edge. There's always something going on. Call them to see what's coming up next. 636-754-2317.
If you're in the market for a luxury vehicle and you haven't checked out Genesis, you are missing out. Head to Genesis of St. Charles and find the great selection of Genesis SUVs and sedans, including the G90, Motor Trend Car of the Year. They call it the best luxury car on the market. Genesis of St. Charles, currently housed in the St. Charles Hyundai showroom while their new showroom is being built, just a quarter mile east of Mid-Rivers Mall Drive off 70, or online at genesisofstcharles.com.
Are you ready to grow? Garden centers are now open at your local farm and home supply, and everything you need for your lawn, garden, and anything in between is on sale too. Lowest prices of the season on everything from garden hoses to potting mix, from Roundup to fertilizer. Need mulch? Only $2.99 a bag. We've got the area's largest selection of fruit and vegetable plants and shade trees too. See all the details right now through April 23rd at farmandhomesupply.com.
KMOX, KEZK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Awarded 2023 Large Market Radio Station of the Year by the Missouri Broadcasters Association, KMOX.
At 11 o'clock, it's a windy condition, 75 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour.
Department of Transportation and Public Works is managing $42.7 million of road and bridge improvements.
That's County Executive Sam Page talking about the road projects the county will be taking on this year, including a number of resurfacing projects and the Allen Road Bridge replacement.
We also have road crews filling potholes all across St. Louis County. On average, our road crews fill 15,000 potholes every year. And potholes are what we hear about a lot.
Page says they'd like to do more, but don't have the money. He says inflation has driven up the cost 70% above what they budgeted for earlier this year. The trial of Kim Gardner won't be until September, but a lot could happen between now and then, according to KMOX legal analyst Brad Young. He responds to the Attorney General's motion to have Gardner removed from office until the trial.
In essence, a failure of the judge to rule on the motion to remove Kim Gardner from office will, in essence, be a denial of that motion.
The judge says he will rule on the motion to dismiss the case in the next 7 days. Corey Bush wants a Supreme Court justice impeached.
A report by ProPublica released earlier this month said Justice Clarence Thomas had been taking trips subsidized by Dallas billionaire Harlan Crow for more than 2 decades. Missouri Congresswoman Corey Bush says Justice Thomas has made a mockery of his ethical obligations and disgraced himself and the entire judiciary. Bush calls for impeachment, saying if House Republicans won't act, she's calling on the Judicial Conference of the United States to immediately refer Justice Thomas to the Attorney General for further action. Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
U.S.-made Patriot missile systems have arrived in Ukraine.
Ukraine's defense minister released a statement that reads, "Today, our beautiful Ukrainian sky becomes more secure because Patriot air defense systems have arrived in Ukraine." Ukraine has long sought these surfaced air-guided missile systems to help shield it from Russian airstrikes. Other Ukrainian military officials have called the Patriot missile systems a game changer as Russia continues to bombard Ukrainian cities and power supply infrastructure. Linda Kenyon, CBS News.
The KMOX business desk, an old NASA satellite, is expected to plunge through the atmosphere tonight.
The RESI satellite weighs more than 600 pounds, but most of it should burn up. And the space agency says the risk of someone on Earth being hit by some of it is listed as low. The satellite launched in 2002 to study the sun. It captured images of solar flares and recorded more than 100,000 solar events. Communications issues forced it to be shut down in 2018. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
Down from Stiefels, down 73 points to 33,903. And right now we've got some moving road work on 55 going south past Union. It's in the left lane. Also some road work on 67 Lindbergh south at the Missouri River, left lane closed. And moving road work on 370 west at Elm. The right lane is closed. One vehicle crash on 70 going east before 141 has the right lane blocked.
KMOX AccuWeather, windy, much warmer, sun and some clouds up to 84, and then breezy, warm down to 66 tonight. Windy tomorrow near 80 early, and then strong to severe thunderstorms later in the afternoon and evening. Damaging wind, downpours, and hail possibilities. Will be cooler Friday with some shower thunderstorm chances south and east of the city, high 67. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Steve DeVore on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Just ahead of Cardinals baseball, the game day forecast is sponsored by G&A Heating and Cooling, your Rheem Pro partner. Call for your service needs today at 314-581-0408. We've got wind and 75 in Florissant, 75 St. Peter's, and 75 degrees downtown at the Arch, coming out of the south at 16 miles per hour. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The show, sponsored by the Cardinals. Cardinal tickets for 2023 are on sale now and start at just $6. Info@cardinals.com.
Amy Marks Kors, Chris Ranji. It is KMOX. It is good to have you with us today. We know now because of, I guess there are various reasons that this has happened. Fox News and the lawsuit against the network by Dominion Voting Systems has come to a conclusion. And the reason the trial really did not get off the ground is because the two sides agreed to a settlement. A settlement of about $787 million is going the way of Dominion. And this is after the effort by Fox News over a several-month period to present the idea to its viewers that Dominion somehow affected on purpose the 2020 election and swung it in favor of Joe Biden. Brad Young is our legal expert here at KMOX, was on Total Information AM this morning and said, yeah, this is about right.
both sides had too much to lose. If it went to trial and Fox prevailed in arguing that under the First Amendment they did not violate any laws, rules, or procedures, then Dominion walks away with zero. If Fox News goes to trial and we had their main stars like Sean Hannity, Tucker Carlson, Laura Ingraham, who all texted and otherwise said that what they were broadcasting was false and they knew it to be false, then that meets the New York Times versus Sullivan standard for actual malice. So when you put all that in a blender, this case truly had to settle. And from my perspective, the only question was how much.
Yeah, that was I kind of agreed with him. I did not think that Fox wanted it to go that far to the point where it would have to be made public, but even though we do know a lot of the communication. But if you have to have actual testimony from people like Tucker Carlson in court or Hannity or whomever, that could be the kind of thing that really, really hurts Fox News. Could be.
Yeah.
This is a way for both of them to get something out of it. Fox has to pay a significant amount of money. They're still going to be okay because they are worth a lot of money. And Dominion does not go away empty-handed. Where if I'm Dominion, though, I really am disappointed with the idea that Fox does not have to go on air and officially apologize for everything that happened over a several-month period after the 2020 election and all the false claims. Though there was a statement in the proceedings that certain claims about Dominion were false.
Right.
So we know that for a fact that Fox did knowingly make false statements about Dominion voting systems. But if I'm them, and I think for the democracy, we would be much better off if Fox had to go on air and explicitly apologize for all of that stuff.
There's no doubt that Fox is thrilled with this settlement.
Absolutely.
Because they're going to pay what is not a lot of money to them.
Relatively speaking.
Relatively speaking. And they are going to know that the news cycle will move on within 36, 48 hours, maybe a week, but they'll move on. Everyone will forget it, and they don't have to have an on-air, public, humiliating apology. For perspective, Fox on hand right now, cash on hand is $4.05 billion, which means the amount of money that they're paying Dominion, that $787 million, is 20% of its cash on hand. Dominion brought in less than $100 million in revenue per year, and it's getting a big chunk of change. So good for them. But what's best for our country, what would have been astounding, and I don't know how the country responds. I don't know how the viewers respond. I don't know how the most ardent MAGA members respond if Sean Hannity has to go on air and admit that he lied, or Laura Ingraham has to go on air and admit that she lied, Lou Dobbs. I don't know what that looks like, and we'll never know because the settlement was made. Good for Dominion getting the money, but ultimately, 100% Fox views this as a win.
Last night when we did our Q&A with Major Garrett at the Center of Creative Arts, he was in town for people who don't know, and he was great. One of the questions we got from the crowd, which we did not get a chance to get to, we had a lot of good questions submitted to us. We just didn't, we didn't have enough time to do it all. We had a finite amount of it. And one of them is there a way that with the settlement money from Dominion, that company can educate the public or use it to educate the public on what they do? And, I don't know that that's really their job to do that. I don't know if it's up to Dominion to try and make the rest of us understand that elections are free and fair, and what they do is not, it's not something that should be punished. It's not something that they've done wrong. They didn't do anything wrong in the last election. And we have really secure elections despite what maybe 30 to 40% of the country believes.
Yeah.
So it's not on them to do that. What will be interesting, Amy, is what happens moving forward, because there is a separate lawsuit against Fox News, and the money they're talking about is even more than the $1.6 billion that Dominion was going for. A company out of London called Smartmatic. and they have a $2.7 billion lawsuit filed against them. The lawsuit specifically names Maria Bartiromo, Janine Pirro, and Lou Dobbs. You mentioned Dobbs. So what I'm wondering is going to happen here, and they'll probably settle too, I'm guessing. I don't think this is going to go to trial and go through the whole process. Smartmatic and Fox will find a way to settle. But I'm wondering if at some point Fox will take a couple of those people, whether it's Dobbs or Pirro or Bartiromo, one or two of them or all three of them, and really make them take the fall for the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't know. And here is what's interesting. You talk about Fox News and the settlements, the money that they have to pay out. The Dispatch pointed out that this is, quote, classic Murdoch, just paying money to make problems go away. So Murdoch's company paid $100 million to celebrities and crime victims in his tabloid phone hacking scandal, that one in Britain. He paid another $50 million to women at Fox News, right, over the sexual harassment.
Yep.
In another case, $15 million to a former host who complained about wage discrimination. In another payment, it was a 7-figure payment to the parents of Seth Rich, who sued Fox for trafficking a false conspiracy theory about his death. This is what they do.
Yeah.
They make up lies, traffic conspiracies to get eyeballs, to get ratings, and then they say any problems that come from it, we'll just pay them off.
And that's going to continue to happen. I think about what happened with and how difficult it is to take down a media company. Gawker wasn't anything like what Fox News is in terms of money, in terms of being established. But that media company got taken down by the efforts of people like Peter Thiel, who put a lot of money into that lawsuit. And this goes back to the Hulk Hogan sex tape thing that was made public by Gawker, and eventually that whole operation had to shut down. Nothing like that is ever going to happen to Fox News. I can't imagine it does. I think the only way things change at Fox with how they present information is if whomever takes over in the next 5 to 10 years decides to do it differently.
Yeah.
That's it.
And
That's really it. It's going to have to be an internal thing. There's never going to be an outside effort. Well, there might be an effort, but there's never going to be a successful one to make Fox stop doing business the way they do it.
Yeah. And Dominion, to your point, tried to get Fox to apologize.
Right.
That was a big part of this lawsuit. Is it's not just the money. You lied to an entire country about the integrity of the elections, and Fox's lawyers were able to thwart that effort by Dominion.
Amy, I think that would have gone a very long way to cooling the temperature a little bit.
Do you?
I don't think it would have fixed the problems, but I think it would have taken it down just a bit. And it would have had to have been a concerted effort over a long period of time to roll back some of that, which wouldn't have happened. But I do think it would have helped a little bit if they would have had to say, look, we made all this up. We lied, we pushed it, we knew it was wrong. Sorry. I think it would have been good for our democracy, but that will never happen. Fun stuff, man.
Oh, man.
Hey, anything you missed on the show today on the Odyssey app, download it, listen, it's free. Also, KMOX.com. We will be back again tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji on KMOX.
Words to say, all the things that come to you.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE and frustrated taking pills that don't